Aloha lava, kia ora, always good to be with the team this morning.
And great to have you on the program. How are you this morning, Tangi?
I'm well, actually. We've had an event here at Parliament already out the front of the forecourt, just some flag raising sort of ceremony that we see from time to time. But yep, we're in for another day, and of course the Parliament will rise later this evening for the week.
Okay, let's start. I can see here there was a reshuffle in the Labour caucus a couple of months ago. You lost a couple of portfolios, you came two. And also I can see here you were promoted from 19 to 12. Are you happy about this?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I was the chief whip for our party, and then once the leader Chris Hipkins had asked me to take on some new responsibilities, I moved on from that role. Naturally, I'm delighted to be part of the team representing Palmerston North, but also advocating for a raft of policies that will make a huge difference to our community. So I'm delighted with the new responsibilities that I've been given and getting right into it.
Okay. Let me ask you, you are the spokesperson, Labour spokesperson for raising. Vavasamana Winston Peters government amendment bill about raising. I can see you make a point that it didn't come sooner enough. Are you able to elaborate on this?
Yes, so racing is one of my portfolios, and when we were in government, Labor basically introduced a whole suite of changes to protect the racing industry, which is worth about $1.9 billion each year to New Zealand's economy, has more than 40,000 volunteers, just under 14,000 jobs associated with that. So it's a big deal here. And so we as government had made some changes fairly early on. The new Minister, Winston Peters, came in, has picked up some of those changes, so it's good to see that he is on board. But my concern that I expressed in the House last night was that this was a little bit slower than perhaps we would have liked, but nonetheless, it's good to see it make some progress.
What happened if it did come sooner, as you prefer?
Well, one example would be that when this bill is enacted, that there is a payment made, which is a significant amount of money in the millions. Sort of a significant amount of money would have been made available to the industry much sooner. So the longer that this is delayed, the more delay that money will take to actually make its way to the industry. But that doesn't mean that things should be rushed for any particular reason. It still needs to go through the process. But if the government was as serious about this in terms of protecting the industry, it had an opportunity to introduce this earlier. It's 18 months into its term. It didn't do that. But look, nonetheless, we're pleased that this is coming through. It will create a lifeblood for the community and for the industry.
Tangi, as a spokesperson for small businesses, I can see here IRD were kind enough to give money during the COVID. For them to sustain during that time. The bad news about this, ILD still have lots of money for them to pay back, but most of them didn't pay back most of the money that ILD helped them during that time. What is a good reminder from you as a spokesperson for Labour on small business?
You are correct. When Labour was in government, we made available a loan to small businesses with a time frame that needed to be paid back. Obviously, IRD are now at that point where that time has come. I'm hearing still of the fact that those loans that were made available to businesses made a huge difference. Actually, it was a difference between many businesses being able to stay afloat and stay alive and continue trading even today and not. So IRD are sending that reminder that, now's the time that things need to be paid. That they also have that opportunity to work with small businesses and other businesses to ensure that things can be done in a way that suits their needs. But yes, I've seen that reminder come out in the last week.
Excellent. Tangi, as a spokesperson for transport, I can see there's a new construction of New Zealand's first busway along the middle of Urban Road around East Auckland. I know Labour's been pushing railway, hoping that will help with the traffic, especially in Tamaki Makaurau. Do you think this is a good project to ease the traffic around this area? But I mean, this is a very busy area every morning. I mean, almost every day.
It is busy. I mean, what's really important for communities, and particularly in Tamaki Makaurau, is that there is an integrated approach to transport, that it's not all about spending all the money on the roads. Roads are good, they're important, but of course this is a government that wants to put everything into that, it seems, at all costs, and that is at the expense of things like public transport, access to public transport. So while it's important to have busways that can move people easily and freely, it's also important that people are able to access and afford those services. And of course, what I'm hearing as the transport spokesperson for Labour is that this government are stripping away funding for councils, so that the fares basically have to go up in order to meet that particular need. So these sorts of initiatives are important, but so is the support that government can provide so that people can access the services that they need to get around. And of course, you and listeners based in Tamaki Makaurau will know that more than anyone else.
Thank you, Tangi. If I may ask you, what do you think of the Privileges Committee decision about the three Te Pāti Māori MPs?
Yeah, the Privileges Committee is one that doesn't meet very often. I was a member of the Privileges Committee up until the reshuffle, and so I was part of those early conversations when that particular matter was referred to the Privileges Committee. I understand that what will happen today, now that the Privileges Committee report has been released, is that the Parliament will look to see that. Look, it's been a long process. The sanctions that can be applied are quite wide-ranging, and of course anyone who is suspended from the service of the House, which means basically they can't undertake their duties, will not be paid whilst they're suspended. So that'll be a matter for the Parliament to make a decision on. But I know that, like I say, the Privileges Committee does not meet very often. But when it does sort of delve into a number of different matters, and the Parliament will form its view on what should be an appropriate sanction. It might be that that's by a majority vote rather than being unanimous, which would be unfortunate because usually Privileges Committees, have quite a consensus. It's not put down to a formal vote as such, and so we'll see how that unfolds in the Parliament.
And looks like, as you said, it's the longest suspension in the history of the New Zealand Parliament, Tangi.
Well, my understanding is that suspension is not handed down very often. I mean, it is often a person might be censured, which is basically a slap on the wrist, or asked to apologise for their behaviour. But having someone suspended from Parliament is quite a significant, penalty, because it means that the people that have elected an MP to the Parliament basically won't have their voice in the Parliament for a period of time. So it's one of the matters that I'm sure the House and members will turn their attention to.
Yeah. The chairman of the Privileges Committee, Judith Collins, did mention this morning that it wasn't something that they took a light decision, meaning it's going to be a serious decision, but it has to be done.
Well, those decisions are always serious and significant. And, where there are members, certainly when I've been involved in the Privileges Committee and have formed a view, the member has followed up and apologised or whatever the course of action might be. My concern is that if we have a situation where historically the Privileges Committee, all the parliamentary parties are represented on that committee, but it is very collegial, the decisions are taken usually unanimously. Where we have a decision that's taken that's not unanimous and there are different views, it goes into some uncharted territory. And so I do think that, we do need to think about what that might look like and what that might mean.
And they will be suspended without pay, Tangi, is that right?
Anyone who is suspended for a period is suspended without pay.
Wow.
So they effectively are, as members of Parliament, not able to exercise their rights as a member of Parliament in the chamber. And so, yes, what comes with that is effectively the docking of their pay for the period.
Okay, Whawhitai Telelava, thank you so much, MP Tangi Utikere, for your time. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Oh, just a big shout out to our Pacific community who are doing it pretty tough at the moment. But rest assured, the Labour team are here at Parliament. It's budget week next week. We're holding this government to account and look forward to engaging with everyone sometime soon. Once again, Tangi Utikere, kia ora, and Whawhitai Telelava, thank you so much for your time. Whawhitai Telelava.